Do you have an idea about a product or service-based business in your mind that you are just not ready yet to take any action on? Then you have to watch or listen to today's all-new episode. You're listening to the You Can and You Will show, a podcast that empowers female leaders, high achievers, female executives, and artists to be confident, to overcome their obstacles, and live that exceptional and successful career and life. My name is Catherine Louise, and I'm a business and mindset mentor and communication expert, best known for mentoring female leaders, executives, and artists so that they can flourish in their career and life. And you can and you will. I'm sitting down to share the tools to create that success and lifestyle and how to make an impact. Hold up, before we're going to start right with today's brand new episode, I actually want to share a free gift that I have for you. So if you've recently been feeling like all over the place, not really being motivated, getting up in the morning is really not something you're looking forward to, you're going to really love my free gift for you, which is a journaling method that I have designed specifically for my clients in my East Hampton method. So I'm going to share it with you for free, and I promise when you do this every single morning, very first thing in the morning before putting those contacts in, you're going to see a massive transformation, and you're going to love and enjoy this so much. So make sure to check out that free link down below and grab that goodie. You're going to love it. Hi, and welcome back to a brand new episode here on You Can and You Will with yours truly, Catherine Louise. I'm a business and mindset mentor and communication expert. And if you happen to be new here, hi and welcome. So happy to have you here in my tribe of beautiful business bees. And today's episode is truly about your idea that is still stuck in your mind, in your head, right? If you're listening to this episode right now, remember you can also watch this episode either on Spotify or as a show on YouTube. You will find all of the beautiful links below. Don't forget to subscribe because I have noticed that more than 80% of my viewers on YouTube aren't subscribed. So please make sure to hit that subscribe and like button to support my channel. Today, I really want to give you some encouragement on taking that action on that idea that you're probably stuck with or have been stuck with for quite a bit of time, because I see that on so many of my clients that they have the most incredible ideas and just don't feel quite ready to really take any action on. It really doesn't matter at all whether we're talking about a product or a service-based business, because it starts with the very same. You first of all have that idea in your mind, and when that really feels so good and you would just love to do it, what happens to most of us, not all of us, but most of us, is immediately that kind of doubt starts creeping in. Here's the thing. If you haven't been an entrepreneur so far in your life, maybe you were still in corporate or have another job, then it is very likely that, especially if you don't have any entrepreneurs in your friends or family circle, that you might be hesitant about taking action about that idea. And if you feel called out just now, don't worry. This episode is specifically for you because I have sure been there, and I know so many of my clients have been too, and I really want to show you a way today on how you can actually take action and live that life that you've been secretly thinking about so much in your mind. Here's the thing. If you have been having that idea, again, it doesn't matter whether it is a product that you would really love to produce or maybe a service-based business, if you're not surrounded by people doing the same, it gets very unlikely for you to take any action on, just because you don't really have anybody surrounding you speaking that same language. And what I mean by speaking the same language really is somebody sharing his or her experience on being an entrepreneur and how to really take action. What are the right first, second, third steps on how to take action. And actually, it starts with the very first thing that I know when you're listening or watching to this episode, you're still waiting to be ready to take action. And let me tell you, this point in time will just never happen, period. I honestly, for the sake of my life, I love learning. I love studying people, studying successful entrepreneurs, people in the executive C-suite, you name it. I just enjoy so much knowing about how they actually made it. And by the way, we're about to have some amazing, stunningly beautiful women on this podcast sharing their stories on success. So make sure to subscribe and not miss out on any of the future episodes, because I actually do this podcast. You can and you will, because and I get emotional saying that, but I feel it is my mission to help you understand that this idea you have in your mind is not just a fairy tale-ish kind of wishing on a star, or maybe just a crazy idea, but in fact that when you have that idea, you should take action on. Actually, just for having that idea, it is your responsibility to take action on. And another part of my mission is really inspiring and empowering women to live in their fullest potential. And that idea that you have in your head is inevitably intertwined with your potential, because you haven't been giving that idea really for a service or product-based business, again, for no reason. And most likely it has so much to do with living and thriving in your full potential and with the life that you're actually striving for. So let me start by saying this. When you have that idea and it almost feels too lunatic, too crazy, too out there, taking any actions on, let me share this with you. Every single entrepreneur or a successful person, and remember, success is not the same for everybody, right? Success for me probably means something way different than it means for you. It's just that because we're so familiar with our idea of success, we tend to believe that every person on this planet has the same idea about success. But let me tell you and clarify, that's not the case. You will be surprised by how much the validation and the idea of success really varies. Just for you to know, not every single person on this planet is striving for the same as you do. I truly believe that this is an important thing to know, because we tend to be so intimidated by our own ideas and how much we actually want to achieve and how large of a life seemingly we would like to live, that it's like we back off, right? It seems like, oh no, that's too big. That's too good to be true. Like, how would I deserve, or how could I just even live such a life? Especially when it seems to be a huge up-leveling, like very different from the life and circumstances you're just living right now. And then we tend to back off. All of the successful people, all of the entrepreneurs, all of the really crazy known inventors on this planet have been starting just like you. They have been having that idea in their mind. I'm actually having goosebumps just talking about that, because just understanding that process really doesn't vary in any way, but that we have been, and you currently are, in the very same position as Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, or the founders of Google, who have been starting out in a garage. There really is no difference, except the fact that they have been taking actions on their idea. If you listen or watch really successful people who quote unquote made it, the number one advice that will all give you is start before you're ready. If you have that idea, just go for it, because honestly, there will never be a time where you're going to be quote unquote ready or prepared for anything. Honestly, entrepreneurship and running a business And I speak from my own experience because I've been an entrepreneur for almost 17 years, which is a whole life to live. I'm not even kidding. The number one thing, which is very certain about entrepreneurship, running a business, is nothing is certain and nothing is promised. Entrepreneurship is not all just butterflies and, music and flowers and all the thing. It's definitely commitment. It's a whole different lifestyle. It is most of all a whole different mindset, and then just figuring things out as you go. I would say this is the number one thing because, again, you're never going to be ready. You're never going to be equipped. You just have to start with what you have. And that's very honestly all that you need for right now. I know this is going to come up. Somebody is saying, okay, but what about the economy right now? Wouldn't it just be crazy to leave a safe and stable job to go and found that business or a company? Well, first of all, what I believe the past 3 years, or basically whenever you're watching this, the entire decade of 2020 has proven, not just shown, but proven to us, is there is definitely no such thing as being secure or stable when it comes to a job. There have been countless companies that had to close down, that had to let go of their employees. So really, saying that it would be crazy right now to start their own company or business because, they might have a stable job. Let me tell you, there is no such thing as stable, first of all. Second of all, what do you think, who you can trust the mostest in this life? I hope that would have to be you. As a good employee, you're most likely very loyal to your company, to your firm, to your corporation, right? But when it comes hard and hard, you will not be able to expect the same kind of loyalty back for you because a corporation, a company will always make decisions based on what makes most sense to them. Also in terms of numbers, so what you call safe really isn't safe. So I'm not saying you should quit your job today and say, well, she said it. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is trusting a quote unquote stable and safe job is just not the vibe because it makes so much more sense to rather trust in yourself and your very own abilities. And I bet on you, most of them, you have no idea just yet that you even have them. And then also investing in yourself and in your path, because you will always be loyal to yourself first, or at least you should be. And you will always figure things out for yourself in your highest interest. And you can definitely not be saying that about any company or firm or corporation or whatever. What I'm encouraging you to do is still take action on that idea that you have, on that business idea. And I 100% understand, and I know from experience that it isn't easy to really found a business, as a quote unquote side hustle. That's what you would call it. If you have a job and then start something on the side, people call that a side hustle, but it definitely makes sense. And I already know people say, I really don't have the time for that. Well, then you have to make a crucial decision and really be honest, because how much time a day do you spend being on social media? How much time a day do you spend watching TV or doing things that really couldn't be considered being an investment in yourself or your future? If we get quite honest about that, I think you would have a little bit of time every day to really invest in your business and your future. So now that you know that actually where you're at right now is not so much different, not different at all actually, to Jeff Bezos founding Amazon. By the way, did you know that his first deck was a door? I'm not even kidding you. When I saw that picture, because he actually started Amazon as a book online store, his desk was a door, and I'm still to this day so inspired by that. So what he actually did, or every founder of a business, is when they had that idea, they started writing it down. And believe me, writing things down on a piece of paper it holds a very own kind of magic in it itself, because really putting things on a paper, and I highly encourage you to really write by hand and not just on a iPhone or desktop. However, if that's what you have on hand right now, go ahead and do it. But I still highly encourage you to, at some point, write it with your hand, because really seeing it written down on a piece of paper will make you realize that it has just become real. And really, that idea that has been only stuck in your mind for nobody else to see or hear has just become somewhat real. Another huge question that a whole lot of people have when founding a business, again, doesn't matter if it is product-based or service-based, is how do I finance that? Well, if you have a product-based business, there are definitely a whole lot of ways to really gain investments if you can't invest in yourself just yet. And actually, it is quite common to not invest your own money, but really looking for investors, maybe angel investors. If you want to learn more about that, I'm just currently listening to a book which is crazy amazing. I quite frankly never have the time to read. So I'm a huge fan of Audible. And by the way, if you're not on Audible just yet, make sure to check out that link in the info box. I have a free link for you where you can save a little bit of money and listen to the book Sweet Success by Candace Nelson. And in her book, Sweet Success, she's giving away crazy amounts of really valuable insight when it comes to founding a product-based business. If you are looking into founding a product-based service, please make sure to listen to this book. It's one step amazing. And believe me, I've been listening to, honestly, I don't know how many books, because honestly, audiobooks on entrepreneurship and running businesses and learning all things self-development and mindset is what I do every single day. Again, I really love to learn. So get that book, Sweet Success by Candace Nelson. I will also put the link down below if you want to order it, or again, if you want to listen to it on Audible. And I really think you can learn a ton from this book. I think we always believe in order to be ready, quote unquote, we would need to have all of the answers. But as a matter of fact, if you are not going to start asking the right questions, you will never receive the answers. And no entrepreneur ever has been starting out having the right answers immediately. That is something we would think this is how it would have to be. But in reality, founders, entrepreneurs, really successful people, they just know how to ask the right questions. And in order to be that, in order to learn that, you just really have to start. So now that you have written down your idea, all that you have to do is think about, okay, what do I need? What will be the next logical step? And then really go out there, ask questions, call an attorney about all of the legal things. Do you want to produce a product? Then go ahead and call up companies and ask them. Ask all of the questions. What I want you to do here is really trust yourself. There is no such thing ever as a dumb question. If the person you're talking to is just reacting in a funny way, don't even take that personal, but go ahead and ask another person. Whenever you talk to people, whenever you give questions, remember, there are so many more people out there being able to answer all of your questions than that person. So even if that person doesn't really seem to be supportive or wanting to answer the questions, just go ahead and turn to somebody else, but really just start asking questions. Not only will you gain so much valuable insight, but you will move ahead on your journey without even really noticing it. When you ask all of those questions and you learn more and more as you go, welcome to entrepreneurship. This is what it's all about. Another big thing in entrepreneurship is just knowing that, going from where you're at right now to really where you want to go at is never like a straight path or a straight route. There will always be ups and downs. There will always be challenges, obstacles, all of the things. But that's what life is about, really, isn't it? And if we're being quite honest, all those challenges, and maybe something is not going to work quite the way you would have wanted it to, so you just adjust a little and then go from there. All of those tiny little and big things happening are making you grow so much as a person, as an entrepreneur. And really, I believe that this is what entrepreneurship and running a business is all about. And I just love it. One really important thing I want to give away in this episode too is if you are in the lucky position to hire people, doesn't matter if it is immediately because you might have found an investor, or you are in a position where you can invest in your own business, or maybe 5 years from now, always make sure you first of all start outsourcing things you really don't like. Because let's be honest, you need to thrive in the things you really enjoy doing, because inevitably the things that you love doing the most are the things you're best at. And you really want to make sure you start outsourcing the tasks that you are not so eager about doing. And then a really important advice to keep in mind is always hire people for that specific field that are so much better than you are. Most entrepreneurs do a horrible mistake in hiring people that are maybe not as qualified in their field, because they believe as a CEO they would need to be the smartest on the team, when in actuality that will just set you up for failure, because really what you want to do is have really experts in their positions, because you hire them to do the job, not for you to do their job. So you really want to make sure you hire the best people in their fields, and they again will then hire really good people too. Leadership is never about micromanaging other people. Really don't want to go there in order to run a successful company. And it doesn't matter if you just have 1 or 2 employees or 300. When you start employing, you want to make sure you really employ experts so they actually get the job done and see things in their positions you probably wouldn't have seen, because that will make your company or your business successful and grow. I really hope you've been able to take so much away from this and just start, because remember, as I said in the beginning of the episode, you're never going to be that ready as you would like to be, but you will in fact become that ready on that journey of asking questions and taking action. If you have any more questions, please make sure to reach out to me. You will find all of the details below in the description box. I'm so much looking forward to our next episode, so see you and hear you again next time. Bye!